Namaskar. One of my colleagues has recently asked me a question that if Shiva is knowing everything, if he is the knower of knowers, then why does Shiva, Paramashiva, or universal consciousness have avidya or ignorance? Because that's the reason why we are not able to see Paramashiva from a microcosm to level to that macrocosm. So this is a very profound question that the gentleman has asked, and it touches the core of philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism and its understanding of how macrocosm becomes microcosm, how Shiva becomes Jiva, and and this descends into a state of limited awareness where Shiva is experiencing ignorance is most of the time misunderstood by many people, and that's why it raises questions among the mind of many people that why something which is so all-knowing would experience the need to rediscover itself. When I studied these scriptures and when I tried to experience them, I found that the process of experiencing or rediscovering or reawakening to one's true nature is not an error, but it's a purposeful unfolding. And I could say this entire experience of unfolding is like a small seed. That seed has to grow and it has to realize its ultimate potential of becoming a tree. But the seed has to go through a very difficult process. We know that the seed has it contains the complete blueprint of a tree. Inside that small seed, it has the complete blueprint of the tree, but it has to go through those stages of growth. It will have to be under the soil for many, many weeks. Then a sapling will come out. Then a small plant will come out. Then a smaller tree will come out. Then a bigger tree will come out. This struggle it has to go through. And that is through this struggle, it learns to realize its full potential. So similarly, human experiences and human journeys are also like that seed through which they will recognize their ultimate potential, through which they will recognize that nature of their true reality, through which they will recognize that they are the Paramashiva, and that infinite nature can be experienced by going through that finite expressions. So to me, this re-education of human experience is simply part of that play of consciousness that's expanding and contracting, eternally exploring its boundless potential, and one has to go through that. And if you recall, we were in class 10th and we used to do those small experiments where we used to carry a small prism inside the physics laboratory. And I remember, when we were asked to pass a light through that prism, the light that was passing was uncolored and undifferentiated. But when that light passed through that prism, we suddenly realized that it dispersed into a spectrum of colors. And very different colors would come out, and every color would be distinct and different from other colors. So this example is also like Paramashiva. Like Paramashiva is also like that infinite light, undivided light, pure light, and that light transforming, moving, passing through and becoming Jiva, that Paramashiva as the pure light becoming one of the colors in that spectrum as Jiva. So, but each color represents a limited expression of the original light. It's not that some color of light is not that original big light, the pure light. So each color represents that limited expression of that original light. It has all the characteristics of that original light. This dispersal or limitation is not a mistake. So if one tries to find there's a problem in the prism, it's not the truth. There's no problem in the prism. It is just an expression in a different way, in countless ways. So Paramashiva also expresses himself in many ways. It's in Kashmir Shaivism we call it Leela, the term that has been referred in Kashmir Shaivism is Leela. It's a divine play where Supreme Consciousness or Paramashiva veils itself to experience life in diverse forms. Rumi has once said that you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. So, similarly, we are that drop in that ocean, or that ocean is in that drop. We are the ocean, we are that Shiva. The only thing is, certain elements of Maya and avidya and ignorance that prevent us to see that reality. So let me also share one example. I read a book a couple of years back which is very close to my heart, and I love this book and the experiment that Schrodinger has conducted, that's called Schrodinger's cat. It's a thought experiment that the Schrodinger had conducted, and I find this one of the best examples or analogies to explain the ultimate consciousness of Paramashiva. What Schrodinger did in this experiment is that he placed a cat inside a box, and in that box he placed some radioactive atoms, and he placed a vial of poison in that box, and there is a 50% chance of that radioactive decaying and killing the cat. But if it doesn't decay, the cat will remain alive. But when the box is packed and sent somewhere else, no one knows whether the cat is dead or alive. So until someone opens the box and observes it, the cat exists in a superposition. So the superposition is either alive or either dead. And until that observer is looking inside that cat state, no one knows whether the cat state is live or dead. And only when someone observes it, the one state will collapse. So similarly in Kashmir Shaivism, the Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness, is seen as an infinite consciousness that holds within itself all possible states and all potentials simultaneously, and much like the unobserved cat that's both alive and dead. However, when Paramashiva or the Supreme Consciousness veils itself, similar to the box that's in the thought experiment, it chooses to manifest as an individual form or finite experience, like a particular outcome for the cat once the box is opened. So in Kashmir Shaivism, this veiling, that the box that covers the cat, this veiling is seen as Maya. The closed box in Schrodinger cat is also like Maya, the divine veil. So what happens in Kashmir Shaivism is that when consciousness engages with this veil, when consciousness engages with this veil, a specific experience emerges, and that is the finite state. So the concealment is essential because it enables Paramashiva to experience itself through distinct forms and allowing it to collapse into individual realities, just like we saw what happened to the cat. So, but in Schrodinger's experiment, the observer is an external person that determines the final state of the cat. But in Kashmir Shaivism, it's very important to know Paramashiva is itself both the observer and the observed. The individual soul, the Jiva, eventually comes to realize this truth, and that's through the various practices. There are upayas that are mentioned in Kashmir Shaivism, and moving from an finite state to an infinite state, Paramashiva itself is recognized through that process. And that's why I have said in my book that when you realize that, when you move from that finite state to infinite state through practicing of those upayas, you realize that you are Shiva. And that's why I have titled my book, I am Shiva. And that's why people have to recognize this fact that Shiva does this for Leela, and it's Maya which is not allowing us to see. And once we transcend Maya through upayas, we recognize that we are Shiva. We recognize that I am Shiva. So please read my book, I am Shiva, and also like this channel. Thank you very much.